Every innovation first began with an idea. Welcome to Tech Founders Stories, where passion meets innovation. The platform where visionary founders share their inspiring journeys. From struggles to successes, they reveal the secrets behind their innovative ventures. Join us as we uncover the stories behind the startups that shape our world.
I am Osinachi Leslie Elochukwu. I am a game designer and developer. I studied computer science in the University of Benin, Edo State, and my current startup is Goondu Interactive, and we are a game development studio. My journey in tech entrepreneurship started as I was a kid. I've always been curious about technology, creativity, so I believe my dad saw that and he got out a desktop with Windows 98, I mean 95. Yeah, it was that time where desktop was the only kind of computer you could find. It was there my creativity and my tech interest started in. I won't say I started coding then because I knew nothing about coding until I entered university. But when I was a kid, I was very creative. I started doing animations in PowerPoint, and from there I grew to having my own laptop in university. In university, I started working with Maya and other 3D modeling software where I created animations and other creative works. From there, I got interested in gaming and game development. So already I was a very good gamer. I loved playing games a lot. But I always thought making games was beyond my reach. This is because the system was always about become an engineer, civil engineer, electrical engineer, doctor, pharmacy. So you would never really think there's anything beyond that. But it was a friend of mine that came to me one day. We were in the hostel in Uniben. We were just discussing about it. He was like, let us try this thing. He had learned JavaScript at that time. He was like, let's try this thing. Let's make small games and see how it goes. And then I created the artwork for it, a bit of here and there. And then he created the code base, how the game should be and everything. And then we created the first game and was like, so we can actually do this. We can actually make games. We took it a step further. We went for a game engine called Unity. And we started making 2D games. I cannot draw for the life of me. Let me just put this out there. But I tried my best to create the artworks for those games, which was good for the level I was in. And we made our first game, ADM, Angels, Demons and Men, and it was a good success in the terms that we got the game out there and it was working without bugs. That was our first game, and subsequent games were just here and there, testing out our skills in different games. But our first 3D immersive action-adventure game was Zack, which was released in Steam Marketplace. If anybody knows about Steam Marketplace, it's one of the top game stores in the world. So we spent about a year, I would say thanks to COVID-19, working on that game because we were all at home. We had time to work on it. We had nothing better to do, obviously, because everybody was at home. So we spent our creative time working on these games. My dad saw me working on this game and it was okay, people should continue. At least the school is out, do what you like. So after making that game, we're so proud of ourselves because I would say for anybody in tech, I was using a HP 650 Pentium laptop to work on a 3D game that required a lot of graphic memory. So I was working under a lot of lag, but enjoying what I'm doing because it's my passion, obviously. So that would be my first game, and that game actually opened me up to a lot of opportunities in the future. So my current startup, Goondu Interactive, is about a year old right now. The idea for my current startup started November last year. It came as a result of our experience at the Lagos Gameathon done by the Africomicade, which is a body that helps indie game developers to showcase and present their games to public and international eyes. So after our experience there, we saw a lot of interesting games of which I was up to their level in terms of skill. I had done this before. Also, because I lost a little bit of faith in what I was doing, I went down for about a year, but I saw what they were doing there. I was like, we can do this and we can do better. Why not try this? So me and a few of our current founders sat together and brainstormed the idea. Brainstorming the idea, we came about Beyond Service. Beyond Service is our current game, our first game as Goondu Interactive. It is an action-adventure, third-person game that is very cultural immersive in the fact that the game, the story and elements in the game is set out of Nigeria here. And everybody that is going to voice and act the characters in the game will be sourced from Nigeria, Southeast to be specific. Because we want to start from here and then move over to other aspects. Now the game doesn't start and end in this first game. It's going to be like a sequel. It's going to be like a whole universe. We're trying to capture a big background and tell people stories about our cultures and the different way to experience games, especially games from Africa. The most challenging part of starting a startup, my startup, any startup, is courage. Most people tell you it's funds. I will tell you it's not really funds. It's courage, perseverance, and hard work. Now, when you start a startup, you might not have the funds, maybe for the next 2-3 years. It is courage, perseverance, and hard work that will keep you on that project until you actually get that first fund. The perseverance to keep at what you are doing despite the challenges, and the hard work to actually pull through it at your startup or your idea. Startup always starts with an idea, and then you have to build on that idea. There have been several turning points in my career as a game designer developer, one of which I would mention is my first game, which is Zack. After making that game, I had a year gap, which is I started working for money rather than for passion as a graphic designer. But that game gave me my first gig as a game designer for a company here in Enugu State. So that would be one of the first turning points. Another turning point is my current startup. So after starting our game ideation, a bit of a prototype we took to Lagos, showcasing our games, I had several calls and messaging from people interested in the game itself. People interested in putting money, people interested in partnering. So currently, I would say I'm in conversations with these people on how best for us to partner together and put their funds to good use. I would say these are my turning points. My product is a game, obviously. It is an action-adventure 3D game that helps people in your casual time. My product helps people in terms of leisure. It's a game, and what games do is they help your cognitive skills. They teach you cultures, myths, legends. They immerse you in a new world where you can explore and be creative in your own way. The game Beyond Service is taking a different approach to the current games you'd see in Nigeria. It's not a casual game. It's a AA game by every standards in terms of its graphics, its story, its interactivity. So you would see most African games trying to go into the past to bring African legends and myths. But there's nothing stopping African legends and myths from happening in the future. So this is what we're bringing to our gaming industry, bringing our modern day interactivity and culture together. So it's more like we're bringing our ancestors into real life as if they existed here with us right now. Goondu Interactive currently is self-funded. So everything we're doing in Goondu Interactive comes from our own purses. But it's not as if we're not looking for, we are. And we're in talks with several people for partnerships, investments, and even grants for the completion of the game and even more. So the biggest challenge I would say I faced, apart from financial, is lack of technical hands here in Enugu and in Nigeria as a whole. So when you're trying to do a project that requires a lot more technical and mechanism that you have not seen or used before in Nigeria, you require people that are professionals or experts in the field. So most of these experts are out of the country or actually based somewhere else in the world. So to get these experts to work with you for the pay here in Nigeria is impossible. So you have to conform to their own standards. You can partner with most of them, which is what we are trying to do. But then at the end of the day, you can't get all of them by just partnerships. You need funds. So these are the blockers I seem to I'm having, and I'm trying to solve in current startup. My family has been nothing but supportive for my journey. My sister would always tell me that I'm the only one that went for passion, while the rest of them went for, profession. So yes, they've been very helpful and patient with me through the ups and downs of my career. My dad especially, from buying us a home desktop when we were kids to encouraging me after my degree in computer science. He has been nothing but encouraging and supportive. He actually gave me the funds to register my first company. And he would always tell me that this is an investment. This is an investment, and I will collect my investment in the future. Just blow first. So the lessons I've learned from my career, over my career, is perseverance. This is what I would have done differently. Throughout my career, from the beginning, I lost faith in myself, in the whole game industry. I found that faith back when I went for the African Comicade Gameathon Weekend Lagos. If I had persevered from beginning and continued on my path, I probably would have gone further than now, but who would have known anyway? But yes, that is the lesson I've learned, and what I've done differently is to double down. When you have a dream, you don't give up. You double down on it. It's all or nothing, basically. I've always said that the one thing that sets successful tech founders apart is audacity. The ability to dare, basically. If you listen to different stories of successful tech founders, you would notice that there's a bit of audacity in everything they do. Reaching for more than they can actually do. Actually selling themselves more. Not selling themselves more and then don't reach up to the task. They sell themselves more and then they level up. That imposter syndrome should be dead. The imposter syndrome where you think, oh, I don't think I can do this. I'm not qualified for this role, but I'm just here. No, it's something that happens to every tech person, every tech founder. You have that imposter syndrome, but you should kill it if you want to be successful in tech. As a tech founder, you should have audacity. Many tech founders that are successful currently have that audacity. I don't want to name names, but they know themselves. My current startup, there might be a next, but my current startup is Goondu Interactive. And our goals for the future is to making Enugu State like a hub for game development. We want to start training, we want to start encouraging, we want to start building a game industry, game community here in Enugu State, where people can develop, play, and be creative with their ideas when it comes to game development. My advice for aspiring founders is to just do it. I know it's difficult, it's scary, it is everything. There's no money. As you start, there's no money. I wouldn't say there's even more money in tech than in gaming, game development. If I can dare to do it, you should too. As a tech person, like I said earlier, you should not have imposter syndrome. You should always have audacity, the ability to go beyond your limits. And each time you go beyond that limit, go beyond the next limit. If you watch anime a lot like me, every time you think the main character has reached his limit, he goes beyond the limit again. This is how you should think of your career. Always level up. There is no limit to leveling up. If you level up today, you level up tomorrow, level up. Never stop acquiring new skills, because that skill might be what would give you your next big thing. Like I always say, you go big or go home. You can follow us and get updates on our current game on Goondu Interactive on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Goondu Interactive.